to overthrow the elite, those stopped because the divide and conquer had begun to work, right? You could turn people against each other by telling those poor white folks, they got to keep these black people in line. And so that divide and conquer gets initiated in the colonies. Rich white men telling not rich white people that their enemies are black and brown. Fast forward to the Civil War era. And you have, I'm from the South, right? My people, the elite in my part of the country, right, actually announced that the reason they wanted to break away from the Union and possibly go to war with their brothers and sisters to the North was in order to maintain slavery and white supremacy. They said that at the time. We lie about it now. And we say it had nothing to do with that. But of course, at the time, they didn't have any shame about it, so they just said it openly, right? The vice president of the Confederacy, Alexander Stephens, said that the cornerstone of the new government was the great truth that the Negro was not the equal of the white man. So that's the reason the Confederacy was formed and existed. But here's the trick. If I'm rich and I want to go to war to protect my ownership in other human beings, my property, but you're poor and you don't own any enslaved people, why the hell would you go fight to protect my stuff? Because I'm a rich person. I'm not going to fight. Rich people don't go to war. Right? Rich people get poor people to go to war for them, whether it's in 1860 or whether it's during the 1960s or whether it's today, right? Rich folks get doctors to write notes for them that say that they have heel spurs, and that's why they can't go to Vietnam. And if you don't know who I'm talking about, you can Google that shit because he's sitting in the White House right now, right?
That's a fact. That's a fact. One of my favorite comedians, one of them, there's many, George Carlin talked about this a lot. So if you ever want to watch something that's really funny and really, really honest, because what real comedians, great comedians do, they look at the disparities in society and they make jokes about them, right? George Carlin literally said that line. Rich people are sending poor people to war. Something like that.
War is old men protecting their property by sending young men, or rich old men protecting their property by sending middle class and lower class young men off to die. It always has been.
When you hear it, you'll get it. And that was a historical fact. And it's always been like that throughout mankind. So again, we talked about a lot of things tonight. We talked about the Jaylen Brown contract. Great things for him. Congratulations to him. I feel like he should do really good with that. And again, if he continues to leverage his platform, I'm looking forward to see what Jaylen Brown does in Boston. I'm looking forward to see if it can be a true pilot for what can happen around the country. Now, y'all know I believe that racism is still real, but guess what? I also believe that Black excellence is even better. And so at the end of the day, we still have to strive to be the very best God made us to be and not let anybody change that from us. But in closing, I want to watch this.
Be mediocre, be normal, and fit in. Dress like them, walk like them, act like them, go where they go, think like they think, do what they do. And once you've neutralized your uniqueness, you don't need courage. It takes courage to be different. It takes courage to...
So it takes courage to be different. It takes courage to think. Not a lot of people thinking nowadays. That's being different. A lot of people are just being dictated to and told what to do, right? We have to learn to develop a way of thinking independently. And then that thinking should lead you to understand where at times it makes sense to work together, because wealth is a team sport. It's a team sport.
To be successful, it takes courage to win. People don't talk about people that don't win. If you win, they're going to talk about you. Do you have the courage?
So again, do you have the courage? Do you have the courage to think? A lot of people don't want to think. They're scared to think. A lot of people are afraid to be alone with their own thoughts. Think about that for a minute, y'all. So listen, I encourage everybody to begin to think, research. Therapy is a wonderful thing that we all should be looking for. Because listen, I don't know about y'all, but I can speak for myself. Just growing up in these environments, these hoods, creates all kinds of traumatic experiences. And traumatic experiences stifle greatness. It can encourage greatness too, but it also stifles greatness. So think about those folks, all those great, wonderful people, a lot of times who get stagnant and held behind some kind of way. Normally it's tied to some kind of trauma that they had to deal with. So think about that. Have you dealt with any trauma throughout your life? Have you sought counseling, therapy, prayer, meditation, all of it? None is more important than the other. They all come into play. But I would encourage you all to dare to be great and not just go along to get along. Be courageous enough to rebel. Be a rebel. All right, y'all. So I appreciate everybody that has been with us tonight. I appreciate you all. Again, let's send prayers, light, and love to our brother Jaylen Brown with his new contract and all he's doing up there in Boston. But he's a celebrity. How can you be supportive of the people that are on the ground right next to you in your neighborhoods? Whether it's going out to feed the homeless or just contributing $1 to somebody that's trying to do a business. Figure out ways, creative ways. It's not always money, right? But just figure out ways that you can be supportive of somebody else's dream. All right? So one favor I have to ask. Please go on over to the YouTube channel and subscribe. YouTube.com/the Finance Rebel. All right, you can find it over there. Please don't go over there and subscribe to the Finance Rebel channel. All you got to do is do a quick Google search. It'll come right up. Subscribe to the channel. I'm pushing for 10,000 subs this year. My deadline, right? You got to have goals, smart goals, right? They can be measured and tracked. My deadline for that goal is December 31st. So please help me hit that goal so I can continue to do research. Come to you all and talk about some of the research that I do. Talk about some of the interesting things that I see. All right? And hopefully help you all connect and do other things and be great. All right? So again, thank you all. Don't forget, be courageous to rebel and do great things. Until the next time, I'm Kamari Ellis. I'm out. Later, y'all.